Welcome everybody to the World of Ability Podcast Network. My name is Elaine Gomer, and I am a podcast engineer here. We're excited to have another episode of the World of Ability. We're talking that's all about everyone with all abilities, not just people with disabilities, like all abilities, whatever you can do, no matter if you have a disability or not. And uh, everything everybody can do. But we do have a special guest today. Well, a couple of guests. I've been invited before, but I have a special guest here today, Rick McCulloch, who I just met recently. And so I'm gonna bring Rick in here. And so Rick, why don't you come in here? Well, I guess we'll start off. How about you come in here and say a little bit before we get to your questions? So I know you sent me some questions. Why don't you come in here and say maybe a little bit about who you are, what you do? Anything else you'd like to say about what you do? You're on mute, Rick.
There we go. Okay,
There we
thank
go.
you. Thanks, Emily, for inviting me here. Appreciate that. Thanks for the opportunity here to be on your show. And so my name is Rick McCulloch. I'm a profit acceleration and business growth specialist. There's a lot of businesses focus on revenue, which they need to do, but they need to focus more on profit because it's your profit, not your revenue. It's your profit, the money you bring home every night to feed your family. That's what can feed and fuel your business growth. So that's how for the past 20 years, I've made it my mission to help small business owners implement strategies to just that feed and fuel their business growth.
Awesome. So we also have another guest been in here quick. Here, Earl. How about you have Earl come in
Yes,
here? Say a
as
little bit about who you
usual.
are, what you do.
Yep, as usual. Again, my name is Earl Williams. I am in Waterloo, Iowa, where I am a internet radio host, podcaster, full-time DJ, minister, planner, day of coordinator, the entire works. But I'm also a podcastration coach and consultant, where I'm working with small business owners and individuals to help them create their own podcast and or short videos so that they can grow the business, bring in new clients, and give themselves a professional image. That's what we're all about over here. And as usual, I will be going live on the radio here shortly. So we're going to be doing our usual thing on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, awesome. Let me back up here. And I'll be back up here. So Rick had sent me some questions here. So about we go to some questions here.
And right off the bat with the first one, what is the number one problem most businesses have? Well, that is growth. And for most small business owners, it's being able to bring in the capital that they need to be able to achieve that growth. And to acquire the necessary equipment or being able to advertise, bring in new clients or new employees, whatnot. So, I mean, that's one of the number one problems that most small businesses owners have is being able to gain access to that capital.
So if that's over Rick.
So just the way I would answer that question myself, and that I appreciate that answer, Earl. Mine's a little slight slant to that, but basically it covers the same territory you did. What I say is over 80% of business owners want more leads, they want more sales, and more customers and more clients. So they want to market themselves, which means they need to have a product or a service that the market wants, so the target audience wants, and they have to differentiate themselves. Otherwise, they're just competing on price. So, but business owners say that their number one challenge in finding time and resources for marketing. So that's one of the things I do is I help people find. I give them that time back so they don't have to worry about it. So that's one. But 20% of other businesses, they may have lots of clients, but they may not have the system and process in place to be able to take more clients because they're already busy. So I can help them with that as well. So those are the main challenges I think businesses have. And it's really about creating a market dominant position for yourself, because otherwise you don't stand out. And again, you don't differentiate yourself. I think that's a key point people need to keep in mind. Otherwise, again, you're just competing on price.
So what are there's some more like the typical symptoms that people have with this issue or problem?
Did you want me to answer that question there for you, Emily?
Yeah.
So basically, the primary symptoms are there few nor prospect customers, clients, or patients in some cases, in the medical industry. They have lots of overwhelm, frustration. They're broke. They face depression. They feel like they're on a hamster wheel, and that lack of sleep and poor health and anxiety. So those are key symptoms that I notice all the time that business owners who don't solve that problem.
So what's the so since we're kind of in the whole kind of talking a little bit about marketing here, so what's kind of like the purpose of marketing and
Sure, I can answer that.
reason behind marketing?
The purpose of marketing is to facilitate your prospect's decision-making process before they buy a product. The prospect wants to feel they're getting really great value because they buy on value, not on price. If you give them 4 times as much value, they'll pay twice as much for the product. If it's going to really solve a major problem, and the more urgent the problem, of course, the more they're willing to pay for it. So it's about how much value they see for themselves, because one of the purposes of a business is to provide value to others, and that value really is dependent upon what that person's real problem is. And if you can solve that problem, if they provide a solution to that problem, then people will pay more for it. So and there's 2 types of marketing, what we call strategic marketing, that's basically your messaging and how you position yourself in the marketplace. And then the tactical market is the implementation steps you take to get yourself in front of the market. That could be digital marketing, it could be social media, it could be speaking from the stage, could be writing a book, could be any number of tactical methods used. But first of all, you have to have a good strategy to know where you are and where you want to go.
Mm-hmm. I would agree completely, because marketing has always been one of my big challenges.
You're not alone.
So I wouldn't say marketing would be always the easiest thing for everybody, but so what are some common mistakes that people make when having to try to solve
Well, I alluded to it before.
problem with their business?
Sorry. Yeah, I'll try and answer that question. So basically, failing to, and I allude to it before, failing to have a market dominant position. I don't mean by that. I'll define what I mean by that. A lot of people have some confusion on what that means. What that means is your capacity to be able to be perceived by your target audience, your prospects, your clients, your customers as the best solution for solving the problem they have and they don't want. And a good example of that would be Domino's Pizza. When they did that years ago, that's how they overcame basically slew Goliath, basically, which was Pizza Hut. So what they did is, because they couldn't compete with the way Pizza Hut was doing it, so what they did is they changed the game. And they did that by talking to their customers and clients, and they found that university students were busy working, didn't have time to go out and eat, didn't have time to cook, and they wanted food hot and fresh and really fast. So they built all their facilities right beside the university campuses, and that actually skyrocketed them into $1 billion business. So creating a market on position can be very, very powerful for positioning yourself in front of your potential prospect. Sometimes you have to change, not just change the service you have, just sometimes you have to change who you're targeting. And again, another common mistake people make is they don't understand your inside reality does not match the outside reality. How you're going to perceive it. You know what makes you good. You know what makes you special. But sometimes we're not very good at transmitting that to the outside industry or outside customers and clients and prospects about what makes us different. So you need to take what makes you really good and make sure that you communicate that very clearly to your audience. And most businesses are very poor at doing that. So you don't have so you don't have a clear message and an offer. And assuming you even have a clear message, and that's assuming you even have a clear message or target or an offer.
Yeah, it's important to have a clear message so everybody knows, when they hear that like connect that with your
There's another.
organization.
Do I have time to tell another short story about that? Or do you have, or
Go right ahead.
Okay, so there's an example of a brewery, and this goes back probably to 1940s, maybe even late 30s. There's a fellow by the name of Claude Hopkins, who was considered one of the top marketing agents in North America at the time. And so basically what happened is, in that case, the brewery was almost going to go broke. And they hired Claude Hopkins to do a story on. And so he came into their brewery and asked them a bunch of questions about how they made the beer. And he said that we found the perfect yeast. This is how we clean the water. This is where we get the water from. This is the kind of bottles we use. This is all the special things we do to make our beer special. And so he took that information and basically wrote some ad copy around that and telling the story how the brewery actually makes the beer. And their sales skyrocketed. He came back to the brewery owner and said, "That's fantastic." He said, we've made a real difference in your business by telling your story about all the ways you make the beer." And he said, "You know what?" He says, "All the brewery owners do the same thing we do." He said, Claude Hopkins said, "Yeah, but you were the first to tell the story."
Yeah. Yeah, if everybody has to start. Yeah, I'll start with one person.
And then there's also a lot of businesses tend to put tactics ahead of strategies. And if you're trying to run a business, you don't have time and resources or money to waste. So basically, you have limited resources. So competing only in price is another one. A lot of people try to compete on the race. No wonder the failure rate of startups is so abysmal. So that's my answer to a lot of the common mistakes business owners make.
Yeah. Yeah. Earl, if you have any comments, please feel free to jump in.
Well, yeah,
About
when
anything,
you
not just
first
yeah.
mentioned that strategy that Domino's was when they originally were trying that it failed spectacularly, about 30 minutes or less, and that was their downfall. And So when you mentioned that, I was like, yeah, I remember that. So, but the one thing I know that yeah, a lot of businesses, they don't have a lot of time to invest. And so when it comes to their marketing, yeah, I do agree with you that a lot of companies just don't have the time. They don't take the time or invest the time to do it like they should. And that's the reason why when I'm working with especially small business owners themselves, when they have their hands full with other priorities, that's when I can come in and help them with marketing strategies, with creating the short videos and or podcasts, if that's the way they want to go, so that that way they can help themselves to increase business, bring in new clients, and like you said, give and highlight their business with a good professional image.
Thank you.
And let's see, yeah, and I like the question about what attributes are more important than price for people to buy. It's having the trust in that company and being able to relate to that, well, have the business actually listen to them as to what their needs are and to be able to fulfill those needs. And it's all about building up the professional trust in business.
Would you like me to answer that question, Emily, or do you have something more you want to add, Earl?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so there's about there's about 7 other attributes that are more important than price. And I learned this from one of my mentors. And this was, you may know who he is, Brian Tracy. He's probably one of the top salesmen, sales trainers. He must be semi-retired by now. He's getting on, I know, but he's still practicing, and he's still trying to help as many people as he can. But one of the things I learned from him is the 7 things more important than price are the quality. In other words, the suitability to, or conformance to the customer standards or requirements. Like, what does that customer really need? How does that solve this problem? That's the number one thing. That's the first thing he's looking at. The second thing is deliverability. Can he deliver it? Can he deliver it fast, dependably, and predictably? Can he deliver it when he says he's going to deliver it? Another one is what I call installation. Security, worry-free, time-saving. In other words, is it hard to implement? Is it hard to use? Is it going to be easy for me to use this product or service? The next one is serviceness, helpfulness, good speed, and dependability. Terms and simplicity, down payments, billing interest rates, well, that kind of thing. So basically, how easy it can be able to afford to do this. So follow-up support, trouble-free ownership, and response to fast repairs, assistance, regular callbacks. That's basically, and that's kind of in the order of importance. I think that's the word importance. Brian Tracy put them in. I tend to agree with them in general. It may not be exactly true, but I think that's in general that does hold. Because people, first of all, does the product or service solve my problem? If it doesn't, then I'm going somewhere else.
Right. So, so operationally, what's the single most important component or thing of running a business, your own business? You know, start out with that, Rick.
No, the answer, okay, Lance, then sure, thank you. So communications, and I say that because of some other mentors I've had, people run multi-billion-dollar businesses, and they've come to the conclusion and next to the executive level, the single most important part of running a business is communications, because clear internal and even external communications, your other areas of business will fail, and without good messaging, your customers will be confused. So, like, if there's one area of your business that fails, it usually comes back to poor communications. So that's that's probably the single most important part. And there are other important parts like your finances and your marketing and your customer service, and there's probably about 7 different divisions in a company, but they all point back to are we communicating from the executive? Are we communicating what we want those other divisions to be doing?
Yeah, communication is important with everything, but yeah, especially in business, but yeah, with everything, communication is important. So why is, I mean, I know, well, some people, a lot of people, pick like a certain thing to like focus on or something like that. So why is it important to specialize in a product or service, in particular, or a particular niche or particular something?
Well, because you want to understand their industry fairly well, because you want to become a trusted authority in that industry. I'm not saying you can't look at other niches, and sometimes there's a mix of it. And sometimes this is something I struggle with a bit myself. But I think the more you become familiar with your client's prospect, the client's problems, the better they're going to relate to you. I just had a meeting with somebody the other day, and the first thing he said to me after at the end of our meeting, he says, you have a very clear understanding of how our business runs. And he said, I'm going to be referring you to the president of our company to having a meeting with you. And the reason he said that is because he said it was really, you really understand what we do, and you understand the problems we have. So I think that's what it boils down to. So if you understand your target audience, that's more important. That's probably one of the most important parts of your business.
Earl, I saw you had to unmute for a second. Did you have something you wanted to say, or was that by an accident or something? Earl, oh, there we go.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that. I got sidetracked there for a second. Yeah, I can't emphasize as this enough that yes, communication is key. You have to have good, clear communication in order to be able to conduct business on every level. That is something that I know that a lot of businesses enforce and they want to achieve, is having that degree of communication between them, their clients, employees, you name it. So yeah, I would definitely agree with you on that aspect. Now, the question of why is the current marketing model broken? Yeah, what's your answer to that one?
Oh, okay. Now this is something I didn't know about until I started getting coached about this by one of my coaches. So this is something I learned only probably within last year and a half. And I didn't realize what was happening until he brought it up. So what happened is because of a really significant event in marketing history that occurred in 1945. And it was the introduction of television advertising. It basically created the era of brand builders. Slogans, CNR marketing, that's create and repeat marketing. And because it was television advertising, and without television advertising, you could reach just about everybody in the country in 1945 because it was fairly new, and a lot of people were trying to take advantage of it. But even back then, it was costing about $2,000 just for a 2-minute spot initially, and then it became so popular the price went up to about $4,000 for a 30-second spot. And you can't really address like if you were talking to somebody to try and convert them into buying your product, you usually had time to express what their understand the problem. You have time to understand their how you could solve the solution for them. You can educate them about why you're better, and you can also make them a good offer. But in 30 seconds, it's very hard to do all that. So it became very difficult. So what happened is a lot of the smaller companies couldn't afford those television ads. But what they found is the bigger companies like Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola and some of the bigger brands, what they found is all they needed to do is repeat the message enough times, a million times, so it became so whenever you thought of that particular drink or that particular solution, that's the first name that came to you, because that's all if you repeat it enough times, eventually you're going to start to believe it. And so that's how they got into the market, by just repeating. But that doesn't really, it kind of left the small guys out of the picture. And it became very difficult for small businesses. And they even just began to teach that methodology in like even to the smaller business. This is the only way you can actually market yourself. And they were teaching the same thing even in the marketing schools. It translated even there. So they even teaching it wrong in the marketing schools. And then next moment or two, I'll give you some ideas of how to fix that problem.
Yeah, so what is the fix to this problem?
Do you want me to answer that question? How to fix it?
Go right ahead.
Okay. So it's what I call the conversion equation. It's basically the interrupt. And because now we don't always rely on television to get in front of our eyes. It's kind of gone away from that. But we have this mindset that we have to have all these slogans, we have to all these special sayings and things like that. That's what, so everybody's we've inherited that method of marketing. So, but now because through social media, you have a little more time to actually talk to people and convert them. So it starts with again, the conversion equation, which is the interrupt, which is really, it's like a headline. It's really addressing the problem that the customer client has. And again, you have to try and get in the head of your client or prospect, say, what is the problem they're having? And you have to put that in front of them and say, are you having a problem doing this, and this? And then you have to engage them, and that addresses the solution. That's like a headline's addressing the solution you provide to solve that problem for them. And then you have to educate them about why you're the best solution for that problem that they're having. And then you have to be able to educate them. There's actually a formula, like it's like an equation, which I call I plus E plus E plus O equals result. So it's like an equation, and that gives a predictable result. So once you follow that formula, it's much easier to convert your ideal target. Again, this is going to work for everybody, but again, this is why it's so important to have a good target audience who needs what you have. So when you're going after your target audience, using that formula actually really helps your conversion rate tremendously. Now there is what they call it a buyer's journey, because probably less than 95% of people are ready to buy from you, or less than 1% of people are ready to buy from you when they first hear your message. So you have to take them through a journey when sometimes they're just looking, and then they decide whether the product is going to be good for them or not. And then they have to look at what are my objections to buying, and then they're starting to look for vendors, and then you have to show them through education, through more information about why you're the best solution for them. So it's not, so you can use an equation won't convert them immediately, but it's the start of the journey.
Excellent. Okay,
Here,
so
unmute.
so based on that last question, yeah, what is one valuable free action or VFA that the audience can where am I at here? Yeah, can implement as a simple solution to the problem.
You're asking me, or you want
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
go ahead, Rick.
Okay, this is a big one, and I just saw a short video on Elon Musk, and I wrote this before Elon Musk even had his posted a short video, but he even said this in his video. He said, first thing you have to do is fire your ego, because your ego, and so a lot of people, and relate to that, a lot of people try to become a brand. And a lot of people don't understand the meaning of the word brand. They think that's just, I'm just going to put a better logo on there. I'm going to have a better image. And you may need all that to help your business. I'm not saying don't do that. What I'm saying is that by itself is not going to create a brand for you. What creates a brand, because it's exceedingly, what creates a brand is is something you earn from your customers once you provide a really good service to them. And your colors and your logo and that is some way of identifying who you are. But then when they see that your logo and your colors and that, they identify that, yeah, that's the company that really provided really good service for me. And you build these raving fans based on the amazing service you have, because it's really difficult and time consuming and expensive to become a brand. One great marketer that I met a few years ago was Dan Kennedy. He said, it's you if you want to become a brand, you better have a bag full of money and a lot of time, because it's very expensive to create a strong brand. The alternative to that is rather the best way is to build trust and prove your value before they buy, to prove your value. So have good marketing in place, have good salespeople in place. That's probably going to be easier to do than trying to build a brand. You may eventually build a brand, and I'm not saying don't eventually try and build a brand, but you can't just build a brand by creating a logo.
Are you gonna say something, Earl?
Yeah, well, I definitely agree with you on that aspect as well. So let's see. Yeah, I think we pretty much covered that one. I mean, you've got a lot of good, valuable information that a lot of businesses can get a lot out of. So, I mean, how long have you been doing this, Rick?
I'll give you the short version, but I started about 2009, and then I learned kind of the hard way. I didn't know what I was doing, so I hired a bunch of coaches, and they basically put a fire hose down my throat. And for this particular journey, part of my journey and what I'm doing, I probably started about 3 years ago. But I had already had some training in marketing and that before, but I got more crystal clear probably in the past 2 to 3 years.
Excellent. Now, the book that you're featuring here, how long did that take you to complete?
Well, I had some ghostwriters that helped me, so that did help. And but it's based on the training that I give, so it's not anything new that I was doing there. So it's really I did have some help writing it, but and publishing. It's not available. It's only available online. It's not available at Amazon or anything like that. So it's only available online. But it probably took maybe month and a half to 2 months to do.
Oh, okay. Very nice. So a lot of the information that you have in this, is this based on your own personal experiences or case studies, or how'd you come up with all the information?
I have a lot of mentors. One of the biggest piece of advice is best piece of advice to give to my clients, my prospects, or customers is I say surround yourself with people smarter than you. Again, it's about firing your ego. And so I learned, so in one of my bios, I talk about how I am a culmination of of my life experiences and my mentors and experiences with clients. Sometimes my clients teach me things I didn't know before. I listen to my clients because they tell me I learn a lot from them. But I say most of it came from my mentors and my coaches. I have like 4 people that coach me. And so I learn a lot from them. So I probably in the past, that's why I say I've got really crystallized the past 2 or 3 years, mainly from associating with those people that were much smarter than me in this. And so and I'm basically just passing that knowledge on to my clients and customers.
Gotcha. Well,
I did, one thing I would address, I think I forgot to mention, I should answer this question a little bit more fully too, is because one of the things I do bring to the table from my own experience, since you asked that question, is I spent 25 years in the oil and gas industry. And from that experience, and that was exploiting and directing complex drilling operations, I learned a lot of the same skills that you need to do to run a business, because you need to create strategic plans, you need project management, you need risk management, you need about 5 different skills to be able to run those kind of operations. And those are the same kind of skills that I think are very transferable into running a business.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, at least with the information that you've conveyed in this, that yeah, you've consulted experts in the field, utilize mentors, and I mean that's the way it should be done. So when it comes to aspects of business wise, I know that. So now, how many other? I mean, is this how many other books have you done recently?
I have a total of 9 books.
Okay.
Not some of them are ghostwrited. The first 2 I did the first one was pretty much on my own. I got a little help with the formatting, editing, I provide a lot of the content. Second one, I provide some content as well, but again, there was some ghostwriting there as well. A lot of the content was mine, and then a lot of the other 7 came from my association with a group I belong to that coaches me. And so and then basically I added my 2 cents worth. But they all follow the principles we're talking about here. And they all go after a certain aspect. If you look at the book behind me in the screen there, that one is kind of an overview of a lot of the strategies we use. But then the other 6 books written after that, we're actually are basically go into more detail on those particular items.
Excellent. Well, I mean,
So I did get lots of help. I won't deny that.
well, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, I think at some point or another, every business owner has reached out to either colleagues, other business owners to get a feel for how they are operating so they can apply some good positive feedback that they've received and apply that to their own business. So I know that every business owner out there has at some point or another consulted with others to learn how to run their business successfully.
I can comment. Oh, sorry, I mean interrupt you. Sorry, did you have something else? Sorry. Did you have something else, Earl?
But go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna on that note, I'm going back to the fire and ego part a bit, because I was talking about Elon Musk in a short video he had watched recently. He said ego is probably too much ego is probably one of the major causes of business failure, because they don't look at what other people have done to help them become good at their business. They basically figure they can do it all themselves. They figure nobody can do it better than me. So they won't outsource. They won't get somebody else to do the stuff that they shouldn't be doing. And Elon Musk even said when I'm looking at a new business and I look at the competition, is I don't treat them as really competition. I treat them as a learning environment. I'm really paraphrasing here a bit, but he's uses a learning environment for him, because when I want to go into the same kind of business they're doing, I look at every detail about what makes them successful before I start doing anything on my own. I don't rely on just my own knowledge. I rely on other people's success to help teach me how to do that particular part of a business. And I think every business owner has to look at what works before they start going too far in their own business. And they have to look at other people to get that. Not they can get some of the information from themselves, but really you're going to learn a lot from just associating with the right people. Like going back to Brian Tracy, one of the things he said you are the average of the 5 people you associate with most of the time.
Yep, that's very true. Okay, now I'm switching over to my phone here because I'm gonna be going live on the radio here in just a few seconds. So Emily, back to you. Go ahead.
Okay, so I see, so thank you, Earl. So I
Yeah,
see,
thank you, Earl. Yeah.
I see that, yeah, one of our other friends who joined us, named Tim. So Tim, can you come in here and say a little bit about who you are, what you do? Are you there?
Hi. Hi, hi, Emily. Hi, folks. I'm looking at direct marketing companies right now, and a lot of lucrative opportunities. A lot of industries are changing, and I need to sharpen up on my skills, my Zoom skills, computer skills. So nice to hear the salesman information. So, yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Anyway, so do you have any comments on a little bit you heard from, well, yeah, Rick said, Tim, or no comments at the moment? So it looks like we have another one of our friends joining us here. Hi Debbie.
Hello, how are you, Emily?
Good, how are you?
Good. Hi,
Um,
Earl.
Hi, Emily.
Hi, Tim's picture.
Debbie.
Hello.
Debbie, you want to come in here and say a little bit about who you are, what you do?
Who, me?
Yes. Or are you
Yeah.
kind of multitasking or anything like that?
Nope. I got 15 minutes here. So
Okay.
my name is Debbie. I promote immune support for pets and for humans by use of the Coriolis versicolor mushroom, which is the most potent, made more potent by the harvesting method that we use, of the medicinal mushrooms. It's not a mushroom to get you high, so if that's what you want, you have to go elsewhere. But it is highly successful with over 400 studies about various illnesses that have been. What it does is cause the immune system in pets or in humans to boost itself so that it actually can help itself. I can't use that. Yeah. Sorry, Emily, I came on by the fly, huh? I wasn't thinking about what I was going to be doing.
So Debbie, what is the name of the product again? Sorry.
Well, the ingredient is the Coriolis versicolor mushroom.
Is there a product name?
Is Inforce is the one for humans. And then we have pet treats and pet food also.
So what's
So
what? So
you can go and to get to the website, you can go to debspets.com and it will http://debspets.com and it will and it'll take you right to the company website and give you, there's some articles and the specific products, or if you wanted to give me your information, I can send you just a specific product.
would Emily, did you want me to put my contact information in the chat?
You're
Here,
muted, Emily. Oh, there we
yeah,
go.
here, I'm talking on mute. So sorry about that. Yes, Rick, you can put it in the chat, and if you'd like to
Oh, good
say
afternoon,
out
good
loud.
evening, everyone. Welcome to Crucial Sounds and your Wolf Man. Going live with you once again. Our usual set. Actually, we're going to be, I'm going to be giving you an extra hour today due to the time difference between UK and the States. So, with that being said, let's get down to it. Let's start you off with some Martina McBride, Pat Benatar, Paul Brandt. I've got a whole bunch of new music that I'm going to be tossing at you as well. Some independent artists. So just sit back, relax, enjoy the music. I'm also live on the World of Ability podcast as usual. So we're going to be chatting it up with the folks over there while we're live on set. Let's get after it.
It looks like Tammy's joined us. Good. So hi to Tammy.
Go ahead there, Emily.
Here. Hi, Tammy. Welcome, everybody.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. Happy Saturday. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Excellent.
All right.
Very good here.
Good group with us. Yeah.
Yeah, Tammy, I'm not sure if you met Rick yet, but or a couple others here, but you want to say a little bit about who you are, what you do, and get...
Sure. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I am a trailman with a group called Trail Life. That's one of the a nonprofit groups that I do. It's kind of like scouting, but it's an outdoor program for boys between the age of 5 to 18. And I'm here in California, and my troop is Troop 102 in Newark, California, which is kind of the East Bay of the San Francisco Bay Area. But when I'm not out there camping and teaching boys life skills, I help people with living insurance. It's life insurance you can use while you're alive. I'm with FinFit Life, and it's insurance that helps provide funds if you get diagnosed with heart attack, stroke, or cancer. It has a life insurance component as well, in case the dying too soon happens. But the other one is a vitality program that helps you to give you a reduction in the cost of insurance by staying healthy. So I'd love to help people here in US as well as Canada. So glad to be here, and thanks a lot. My tagline is, for living insurance, you don't have to die to use. Can't go wrong with Tommy Tone.
Right. So I think you know about everybody here, but yeah, Rick isn't working. Rick, do you want to briefly say again, like, who you are, what you do?
What would you even do? What would you even do, Emily? Sorry.
Maybe say briefly say about who you are, what you do again. For Tommy. I'm not sure if you could.
Okay, sure. Okay, sure. So my name is Rick McCulloch. I'm a profit acceleration and business growth specialist. I've made it my mission for the past 20 years to help small business owners implement strategies to just that, feed and fuel their business growth. Because a lot of businesses focus on revenue instead of focusing on profit. Because it's profit, it's profit, not revenue. It's a profit you put in your pocket every night, take home to feed your family. That's what's going to feed and fuel your business growth. So if you want to learn more about what I do, I did put a link in the chat there for my calendar link and my phone number, so you can reach out to me that way. So I help businesses find holes in their business and help them plug them.
Excellent. So Rick, can I ask you a question? This is your note taker is here, right? That's you.
I did ask permission, so I said it was allowed
No,
to do.
I'm not criticizing. I've just never used one before. I'm sort of curious as to how it works.
Well, it's pretty good. Just called Fathom. You go to fathom.com and then it's pretty easy. It's a free download and it'll actually, it basically, it'll run automatically every time you go to Zoom. You can disable it if you want when it comes up, people don't want you to record, but, and it goes into a repository. You can record all your videos afterwards. It's in some ways it's a bit better. It's a bit better than the way Zoom records. There's a few others out there called Note. There's one called Note Taker out there. Well, there's a few of them out there like that. So you can do some research on it. But Fathom is actually really good. I do like it because it'll create a summary of your conversation of what we talked, and it creates a really good summary of your conversation. And it creates a total transcript of everything you said, but it's just totally downloadable.
Thank you. I just think that's so incredible.
It's wait till AI starts taking over, and then you won't even have to be in the meeting.
I'm afraid that's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid they're going to take over and they're going to be there and we're not. And I don't mean just physically in the meeting.
Anyway, I would just look up Fathom. Look up Fathom Note Taker. Just look it up on online. You'll find it, I'm sure.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
No problem.
But you think that, I mean, their summary makes sense, just like if it was a human being doing it, huh?
Well, it does a pretty good job of summary. I had a meeting with a potential client the other day, and it actually summarized exactly what I need to actually create a proposal.
Oh, wow.
It summarized it perfectly. Matter of fact, when I talked to the client on my second meeting with him, he said, you clearly understand our business.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to try it, I guess.
I mean, I did ask him good questions.
I think that's a lot of key, but yeah, and definitely, Debbie, it's one of those things of Fathom. I think is free, and there may be a paid version of it, but
there is a paid
version, free to try. Yeah,
there is a paid version where they'll use AI to do a deeper analysis of your conversation and look up for key points, but you have to pay for that one. But the primary version is free.
Thank you very much, you guys.
But I would take a look at Note Taker too, because it's good too as well.
Oh, okay.
It does some other things that Fathom doesn't do. So that's it's personal taste, I guess.
Yeah, but your comment about the meeting that you had and how you felt that it did a really good job sort of gives a little boost to the credibility of Fathom Note Taker over anything else.
But the key point there is, and I have to stress this, it's about having good questions to ask them. I have very specific questions to ask my potential clients before they become a client. I have a list, and these are well thought out questions that I've had help in the past actually creating some of these questions. I've learned a lot what kind of questions to ask. And when you ask the good questions, you'll get good answers. And the Fathom, when they respond, and they respond with good answers, Fathom does a really good job of summarizing.
Very good. So Emily, I forgot to mention the podcast.
Do you want to say about your podcast? Yeah, for everybody out there, we have several other podcasts besides this one that everybody's welcome to be on. And one of them Debbie runs. So Debbie, want to say anything about what your show is?
I'll put it in the chat also. So it's World of Pets podcast, and it's on YouTube, live on Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, and then of course it's saved after that. thanks to my podcast engineer, Emily Gomer. So this week is going to be special. We're going to have a fella who is getting a service dog. Well, he has the dog already, but the dog has not been trained by the organization that he's getting the dog through. So this week we are going to have the dog featured in his untrained capacity. So I guess he's going to show us how much trouble he can get in. And then he goes April 20th for his 2-month training. So when he comes back, then we'll have him again featured, and he should be responding to everything right away. So that's exciting. I know that the owner of the dog invited someone from a veterans organization also, but I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make it or not. But love to have you join. I'm trying to get more people to come on live, because we always have a question of the day, and then they can add to it in the chat, and we can get some more, back and forth going. Yes, Rick,
just a comment or suggestion. Of course, with Emily's permission, and if you're open to it, rest of you are open to it, I would ask if you could put your contact information in the chat, and maybe any events you're having, like the one you're having your podcast, Debbie, maybe put a link to that, if that's okay with Emily.
Yeah, if everybody could either put their information
Oh,
in the chat,
definitely, yes.
or
I've already put my contact information there, but if anybody else, I would encourage that. I
yeah,
mean,
mine's in there.
Emily's running this call, but I want to make sure that it doesn't get over.
Yeah, if you don't mind reposting it, I dropped out, my internet connection got lost, and then so
Okay.
all the chats that were posted before me got
Okay.
dropped. So thank you.
Did you get mine there, Tommy?
I don't think I saved it, so sorry, Rick. If you can repost it, that'd be great. Because yeah, anybody who pops in after you posted don't see the history.
Oh, I realized that, but I didn't know when you popped it. That's all.
Yeah, I didn't
Oh,
click the
okay.
save. I posted mine.
I put it in there again.
Thank you. And yeah, we're working on. I'm at the office, and they're working on the network. So, timing, right?
Yeah, bear
Timing
with
is
me a
everything.
moment, and I just got logged back in on the other computer here, so I can post my information for you too.
Sure. Do we have a question of the day, Debbie? You mentioned it.
Oh yeah. Oh geez, did I do it yet? I don't think I did it yet for this week. Thanks for reminding me. So yeah,
I'm curious as what it is. That's okay. You're leaving us on a cliffhanger here, and we're waiting for.
I know. Well, I'm still trying to get the stuff in the chat. I'm on my phone, so things are a little bit smaller than usual.
Sure.
So please proceed, and then I'll catch up.
Yeah.
so Rick, I know you are doing like a weekly class on Tuesdays, right? You want to say a little bit about that? You're on mute.
I do, and I may be changing the format a little bit, but sorry, I just went blurry there for a sec. Maybe it's maybe it's me, or maybe it's a computer. Who knows? Anyway, so I have a workshop I run every Tuesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Adjust your calendars accordingly where you are, but it's called Profit Acceleration Without Spending any additional and making any additional investment, and without risk. And so it goes into about multiple areas where you can actually increase your profitability. I talk about market dominating position, and I talk about and what that means, and how that can actually propel your business much further ahead, and also how you actually create offers, how you create joint ventures, how you create cut costs increase your profitability without actually costing you a dime. And talk about 12 different strategies, and those strategies are talked about in my book that you see behind me, the 45-minute breakthrough to more profits. addresses those 12. We have 40 total, but the first 12 are what I call the low-hanging fruit. And it's about about an hour and a half to 2 hour workshop. Because I make it very interactive. It's not just me talking. I do ask questions of the audience and get some input from them. And I do have a workbook that goes along with it as well, that you'd be able to put some of your own numbers in there as well to see how it might affect your own business. So that's what I do every Tuesday. Again, I may be changing the format on that to just talking about one particular item. One of my coaches is encouraging me to change the format to just talk about one item at a time. So instead of having those 12. And then the following week, I would do another item. The following week, I could do another one. And that's really to get, ultimately to get people into my group coaching program, where I'm looking for people to join. I'm looking for about 15 to 20 people. And there is a cost associated with that, but there's no cost to go to the workshop. But the idea of the workshop is to give people some information and decide if they want to come into the group coaching program as well.
Excellent. Yeah,
Now,
Rick, I just posted my information there for you as well.
You did what, sorry?
Yeah, I posted my information there in chat for you as well.
Fantastic. I'm also, thank you very much. I'm gonna put a link in the chat to the workshop too. Now I haven't, if you go into there, you find there's no times available. I haven't added a date for next Tuesday, so if you go into it right away, you won't find a date open. I haven't added that in, but it'll show up for the next few hours or something. But I'll make a note to do that right away. Maybe that's I'll just put that link in the chat.
Excellent. Well, and I will also include that on my podcast, Midwest Plainsman, I'm going to be starting to do a lot of regular content because I've got special guests that I'm going to be scheduling within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So stay tuned for further announcements on that. Plus, I'm also going to be posting up some useful information for people who may just be starting out on their podcast and or short videos as an instructional session that I'll be welcoming people to come in and join me if they have questions.
So Earl, when's your podcast going to be? Is it going to be like a weekly thing on a certain day, or?
Yeah, seeing how I've got regular sessions at let's see, so basically yeah, I'm gonna try to get stuff put together for that first one, instructional one, for most likely next Wednesday, and that will be at 4 p.m. Central.
Okay. So is it going to be like a weekly thing at 4 o'clock on Wednesdays then?
It'll be every other week because I need to because basically I have to coincide it with my scheduled Smart Connect sessions that I do on the lineup.
Oh, okay. That works.
Oh,
So,
yes,
Emily,
and also Rick. Oh, sorry, Deb, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Rick, just to let you know, I don't know if you're also over on Alignable, but that is a business networking platform where I am the ambassador for the state of Iowa, and I have a lot of connections over there, and being able to have your information on there as well, I know would be helpful to a lot of people.
I am on Alignable. I just have the basic free version right now, but we can connect on there for sure. I'll make sure to connect with you on Alignable.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead, Deb.
Do you have your
Thank you.
Alignable? Do you have your Alignable link in the? Can you put your Alignable link in the chat?
Yeah, I did post. Yeah, I posted that in the chat.
Oh, you did. Okay, that's good. Good. Okay, that'd be great.
Yeah, but did you have something you wanted to say?
I was going to tell one of the funny stories, Emily. Do you think that's good? That we did on the podcast last week?
Sure, if you wanna. If you wanna
Okay.
say.
Yeah. Last week, the title for the podcast was Funny Stories. And unfortunately, I ended up doing them all myself because my co-host, poor guy, his dog always goes with him to work, and I don't think the dog hears well anymore, and he must have gone out, followed David out to the into the warehouse, and he didn't hear the forklift, and he got hit by the forklift. Luckily, he's going to be okay, but when Tuesday, we didn't know that, so David did not join me, and Emily had technical difficulties. Anyway, so I do some pet sitting for a gal and the gal that owns the franchise was pet sitting over Christmas. And when she went for the meet and greet, the lady was like, okay, we've got 4 reptiles, a cat, and a tarantula. I think they might have had some others, but these are the major players. So how do you feel about taking care of the tarantula? And Tammy goes, that would be a hard no. I don't want to have anything to do with the tarantula. And the lady said, that's okay. We can, we've got a way that we can make sure that it's fed and watered, whatever, while we're gone. So she's there. It's not an overnight stay or anything. She's there early in the morning. It's just getting light out. And she's just done with the reptiles, and she looks at the brown carpet, and the carpet moves. And she's like, that's not the carpet moving, that's the tarantula. And she goes, my brain told me to run, so I ran out the door and closed the door. I called the owner. I'm like, don't forget, it's a hard no. What do you want me to do here in those circumstances? And the lady goes, I think the first thing you should do is get a towel and put it underneath the door. Because apparently the tarantula could probably readily crawl underneath the door. So the bottom line is they decided that the cat had lifted up the top of the tarantula enclosure and let the tarantula out. So so the lady goes, okay, if we put some books up there so that the cat can't open it, would you be willing to come back? And she said yes. But I think that was about the funniest story that I had. So thank you for indulging me and listening.
You just have to train the cat better to not open lids.
Maybe that might be the solution.
Well, they're household playmates, so they gotta interact together somehow. But I guess through the glass is the
I don't
preferred.
know. Here's a good question. How does the tarantula interact with a cat? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah.
Do they chase each other, or do they? I don't know. Do they get along well? I don't know.
All I know is that the cat was complicit in the escape. I don't know if they interacted other than that. So I thought it was pretty funny.
Well, we have, I guess, to follow that one is we have a cat that my daughter likes to play and take care of. I guess it comes and meows at our back door and she feeds it. So, but sometimes it gives us gifts, and it recently gave us a gift of a hummingbird. So my my wife fed it, and then it came back and it was meowing at the door, and we're like, we gave you food, what do you want? And she looked and he goes, oh, there's a gift. So it was a hummingbird, and it was all stiff, and the legs were back towards the tail and things, and it just looked like it was dead, but it blinked. So we kind of took it in and put it into a shoebox with some cloth and put it in, kind of warmed it up, and it was playing possum. So then my wife is doing something else in the kitchen, and all of a sudden she hears this fluttering of, the hummingbird sound in the house. So it went towards one of the windows, and she ended up opening the window, but couldn't make it out the window, couldn't figure out, because obviously they're just looking for high places and not looking to go down below. So she caught it again and then let it out, but it was just one of these odd oddities that cats, if you have cats, they do like to give you gifts every once in a while. Thankfully, it was a bird and not what I've heard some say. Yeah, sometimes they bring in mice or rats, and then they are not completely dead sometimes, so then they get out in the
Ooh.
house.
Ouch.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where they do
Is-
gift you.
Is anybody
Yeah.
is anybody open to some clean matrimonial humor?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, well, I'll tell you a story about a case where the husband and wife went to the doctor, and the doctor says, "I need to talk to your husband." I should. He said, "I need to talk to your wife just by herself for a minute. So can you go and wait in the car?" And the husband got out. This is after he already told him everything, well, give him a diagnosis and everything, what's going on. And he turned to the wife when the husband had left, and he went down to wait in the car, and he said to the wife, he says, "Your husband has a fairly serious illness. He's going to need a lot of love, love, care, and attention. You're going to have to really be a very caring to him, and basically going to have to wait him hand and foot, basically do whatever he needs to be done, because he can't do any kind of anything strenuous at all. He can't exert himself at all. And so you're going to have to really just be kind of like almost like a servant to him for about the next couple of months, or else he's going to die." And the wife says, "Thank you, doctor," gets up, goes down to the car. And the husband says to the wife, "What did the doctor say?" "You're going to die."
Maybe not a match made in heaven.
Oh dear. With that,
Well,
I gotta go, guys. Have a good one. Thank you, Emily. Talk to you soon. Everybody have a good
Have a good
weekend,
day,
the rest of it.
And I
Yeah, thanks.
already made a connection request on Alignable with Earl.
Bye-bye.
awesome.
See you, Debbie.
So are we done, or did
Good to connect.
do you need me anymore, Emily?
Uh, But I mean, if you would like to stay around, you're welcome. If you have to be going.
I
that's
did
fine.
actually, one thing I didn't get a chance to put a link to getting a copy of my book. If you want to put that in, you can put that in the chat too, because let me just quickly grab that just to make sure it's. So I have one question I was going to ask is he asked me if like one of the questions I had is what one valuable free resource could I give? And I did put a link in the chat to book a call with me, but also I think did I put a link in the chat for the book? I guess I did. I thought I did. Maybe just,
And Debbie posted her question of the day for her was, what would be the most important benefit for one having a service dog? The most important benefit.
gives you more freedom.
More freedom, yeah, if they have the service dog, right? If it takes care of their whatever their service, what do they call it? The benefit that it gets, right?
Yep. In fact, there are several videos right now because service dogs are a big talking point right now. Is one of the big benefits of a person having a service dog, service animal, or whatever. There are specific types. There are service animals who detect basically low blood pressure, cardiac alert, diabetic alert, you name it. I mean, there are all types of areas where service animals are trained for, and they come as a huge benefit to the people who have them. And the one thing that a lot of people are either not accepting of or just don't have the proper information as to what a service dog actually does for its owner. And that's where a lot of education needs to take place to help educate the general public, also business owners. They're it's a big topic of discussion that's going online right now.
Now, some dogs can actually even detect cancer in patients, I think. I've heard.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think when growing up, it was always the service dogs for the blind.
Yeah.
Right, those are your guide dogs,
Oh,
and now there
yep.
are more,
Uh,
and there are more service dogs that have a specific function, but to qualify to be a service dog, they actually have to have that function, and the owner should know that function. And a lot of times, people are or comfort pet as a service dog, which doesn't qualify for the I guess the access that it does require. Part of it is because my friend and I have a restaurant, and we were trained, at least in our corporate training, when I don't know if we've encountered it in our restaurant, but if people bring in dogs to the restaurant, that is a no-no, right? Because you cannot necessarily have pets in a restaurant if it was not qualified for that, or if the owners or the restaurants are not ready to manage if they have an accident in the restaurant, right? So that's a code violation from the restaurant side of things, right? Having pet hair and things like that. So the question, the one thing that you can ask someone is what benefit does your dog provide, or what is it that it is? What is the service that it provides? And if they can't answer that, then you can ask them to excuse the dog and say, "I'm sorry, we need to ask you to have your dog move outside." So, but yeah, I understand it, but there a lot of it comes from people trying to, in my words, right, to pass off their dog as a service dog. And I think online, and there is a industry that has popped up that says you can purchase a service dog certificate and or a collar or whatever, types of things without the requirement to qualify it as a service dog. So
Right.
a little bit of there's an industry out there. I can't say it's ethical, but
Well, I think if you're
Yeah.
noticing that the owner is not blind, or you can tell they're not blind, then there's probably a red flag goes. I mean, there may be other reasons with the service dog, but generally speaking, that's the biggest one. If they're not blind, that's probably a red flag to alert you that there's probably something going on here that's not kosher.
no, but what Earl is saying, that there are service dogs that do other functions that are
Oh, I
not
know, but
readily apparent.
I'm just saying that tends to be the primary one, but I'm saying yes.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying it's an absolute qualifier, disqualifier, but I'm saying it's would set up a red flag to me.
Oh, sure.
Yep.
But yeah.
I can actually speak to the guide dogs, the seeing eye dogs, is I belong to Lions International, and Lions International has their own leader dog program where they actually train dogs to be seeing eye dogs, and that's a great benefit that we help to provide to people who are in need of a seeing eye dog who may not be able to afford going the normal route. And that's where Lions International comes in.
Oh, fantastic.
It can be pretty expensive to train one too, right? It costs a lot to train one, doesn't it?
Yeah, the timing
Yeah,
on it, and the age and the requirements. I grew up in San Rafael, and one of the leading guide dog for the blind schools was in that area. And so it's always nice to see in our neighborhood all these people with their guide dogs being trained, and some of my high school friends were recipients of, I would say, guide dog for the blind flunkies. But they were fantastic dogs. They just, something about them didn't qualify them to continue further. So, but they were fantastic dogs as pets, but they just didn't qualify. So, but yeah, I think it's a great question. The
It
most
is.
important benefit from having a surplus.
I do have to drop off here, so I just want to ask Emily, is there anything else you need from me right now?
I don't think so at the moment. I mean,
I
thank you for coming on. You're welcome to come back.
I got a meeting set up next Tuesday with the founder, I think.
Okay, yep, sounds good.
So I think that's, I think we're good. It's been a real pleasure meeting Earl and Tom.
Yeah, nice meeting you, Rick.
Sounds Radio.
And Tim, I guess you're there as well.
A lot more music in store for you. I got
You put your contact
Brothers
information.
Osborne, Chris Stapleton, Dan and Shay. Derek Lurch are coming up to you next.
Tommy, you put your
Grab
contact
on, hang on.
in the chat?
Yeah, I put it in earlier. Part of it I shared a little bit about Trail Life.
Yeah, I do have
That
it, yeah.
can be found at traillifeusa.com. And
I
there's
have
another girls component called American Heritage Girls too. So boys and girls, 5 to 18. If you know anyone who's got those ages, definitely plug them into some of those programs across the nation.
Where are you located, Tommy?
I'm in Union City, California, just a little between Oakland and San Jose of the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay
Quite
Area.
a triangle here between Iowa, California, and Calgary. And I'm not sure where Emily is. Where's Emily?
I am in Wisconsin.
She's in the Wisconsin area. Yeah,
We're all over the map here.
we got the corners of the of the map. So
North.
I think Debbie was down in Southern Cal. So we got north and Southern Cal. So nice meeting you. Thanks,
Nice
Rick,
meeting
for
you.
popping
Have
in.
a great
Thanks
day.
for the info on your event.
All success. And I did put a connection request on Lionel to Earl. Cool.
Emily, can you share a little bit about anything happening with Spirit of the Game Foundation? I guess that's what you have on there, or
I'm gonna head off, you guys. So you have a
thanks, Rick.
great weekend. Bye, Emily. Thank you for the time here.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Have a great day there, Rick, and thank you for being a part of it.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
I'm not sure if I missed the introduction, but I'd like to know how can we help, or just to hear about it more. Any activities happening?
So for those of you who don't know what's the Spirit of the Game, it's a organization or nonprofit. It's all about making an impact, and accountability and whatever. So like there are different like different groups or different things in each region. I mean, they have different events. There's like weekly meetings and thing coming up in the next couple months. They are gonna have they're looking to have like a couple of retreats, and then like a week long event, and so different things going on like that. I'll put the website here in the chat. It's spiritofthegame.org.
Are those events open to everyone,
Yeah.
or any specific groups, or okay?
I can get you.
All right, by request, some Don Campbell going out to Misty.
But what's new in your world, Tommy? Doing this here.
Well, with Trail Life, our troop has just kind of learned a little bit of rock climbing, so they're going to do a climbing at an indoor gym because it's raining out. They were going to go outdoor climbing and do some top rope, what they call top rope, which is where there's an actual rope. I think my two boys, they like to just boulder, which is just kind of in the indoor gyms they set up. You don't need a rope. just climbing on some kind of structure, and then they change where the handholds are every once in a while. So, but some of the troop is doing that today. Coming up is at least something that I'm, I guess, excited about is I went to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, and they have an open house event every April. I'm trying to see which. There used to be a set week in April. Let me see. Is it looks like second weekend of April? Every second weekend of April of the year, they have open house, and that's where they open up the campus to not only prospective students who are going to come, but also to the community. So, and one of the things I like about it is that they've got some of the ag units, the engineering units, the business units, all the different departments come out and showcase the campus. The engineering groups, which I was a graduate from that mechanical engineering, but they put out I guess in the gym they put out tables where some of the students or kids can put together circuits or build a kit, kind of a little electronic kit, and they get to take that home with them. So I was surprised to see that, but as a college student, they have the power of kind of enticing people to kind of donate or to contribute, because they know that industry wise, they know that as these students graduate and they look for other industries to support them in products or projects, that they can look for that. But yeah, they got these snap circuits kits. I don't know if you're probably familiar with those, but you build a circuit and you get to keep the snap circuit kit. So now you're carrying around these kits around. So but it's kind of nice that the kids or even students get to use that, or something that they've never tried before. So but yeah, they kind of showed me, they said, hey, we got 2 pallets of these that we have to give out. We don't want to take them back, or so they got a donation, and it was nice. That was a Society of Women Engineers at Cal Poly. So but yeah, if you get a chance, or if you know people who are looking for other campuses to go to, I had fun and I enjoyed my education at Cal Poly. But we're going to go camp there and go to that in coming up in April. I think another thing that I'm doing is, and many of you people across the U.S. and other parts of the world are looking forward to, is the total eclipse on April 8th. So that's coming through from somewhere in Mexico all the way through Maine, going through central Texas. So I'm going to drive out to Texas.
Campbell with Storm is over now. Coming up next, I've got Donna Taggart, Jealous of the Angel, also going out for Mystic.
Yeah. So right. Yeah, if you can experience that
for,
total eclipse, we'll be part of that. So
that's exciting. Yeah, Earl is doing a radio at a radio station.
He's double timing. I was thinking, okay, got to mute him on our end.
Usual.
So that's cool.
Yeah, he ended up starting a little earlier than he would have today.
Yeah,
because of like the time difference and so on. So
yeah, I'm actually going I'm going extra hour today, because the fact that UK time has not switched over to daylight savings as of yet. They are due to switch at the end of this month.
Nice.
So yeah, that gives me an extra hour to play with.
So Earl, are you presenting for both the US, or it's worldwide, or it's a web radio? Is it?
Yeah, both here in the States and also UK and all over. As they have listeners in multi countries, including here in the States.
But then, as far as your show, you have a specific time slot to do a show, and you're kind of obligated to be on the UK for that second hour
on the UK time. So yeah, so basically there are times I have to stop and think, okay, UK, yeah, because right now it's right now it's 7:46 their time, so it's 6-hour time difference.
Nice.
There are times I have to stop and think.
Yeah. Oh, it's all right, right? So that's like as I mentioned to Emily, I said, she said, "Hey, do you want to be on the podcast?" And I'm like, "Well, I would, but you tell me what time." So yeah. So next time, Emily just said, "Okay, let me know." And because we just changed our time zones, right? It's whatever time it is. So we're not in the effect of Arizona and Hawaii. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Arizona and Hawaii don't change their time, so.
yeah. So awesome. All
So
right.
I know we just had, now both of you are part of the, I guess maybe one last question here. Now both of you are part of the Happy Neighborhood Project, and we just
Mhm.
had our big event last Wednesday. Did either or both of you attend, and if so, what was what did you think of it, or what was that kind of thing?
I was able to attend. I was, got in there. I don't know if I got in there on time or early or something, but yeah, it was a good event. It was on the former Hop In platform. So it's not what we are using for HNP, but and that was always that one I've gotten used to. So one of the things is, yeah, being able to get in and use that. Met a few people who are new, and then it's always good to connect with some of our family, friends and family that we have from HNP as well. So, but yeah, it was nice to see everyone, and some of definitely the guest speakers and presenters were fabulous. But yeah, I'm looking to connect and get those one-on-ones connected with the people I found on the speed networking aspect of it. I did pop into Lee Kadaoka's room. She was doing a showcase as well as Dee Ennis, and I did talk to also Athena and got a hold of her. So I was able to pop in on their. These are people who are supporting using the booths, so that was kind of nice. I don't know if I got around to all of them, but I was able to catch up with a few. How about you, Earl? Were you able to get in on the International Day of Happiness last Wednesday? Was it? Yeah, this past Wednesday.
Um, Actually, no, I was not able to. I had not only my uh, Smart Connect session that I typically do on Wednesdays, but also had a couple of new client meetings as well. So, yeah, it was a busy day for me.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. So that was a happy day already. Huh? Awesome.
Yep. Yeah, it's really nice that business is picking up now. I'm starting to get a lot more inquiries and requests, um, and which is helping out tremendously.
Nice. Yeah. Emily, did you enjoy it? I know I saw you in there. We didn't catch up on a one-on-one with the speed networking, but that's all right.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I mean, the speakers were great as always. And yeah, it's always a good event. And then it was cool that I was actually on the official day this year.
Yeah.
So the events I've and too, it's like not been right on the official day. It's usually like a few days off, but um yeah,
Yeah, it
so yeah,
actually,
the official from the United Nations declaring it March 20th. So
yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
uh, so
Yeah. And then HNP Happy Neighborhood Project will start up on, I think, April 1st. It's not a joke, right? April 1st, it will
Yeah,
resume.
as far as I know, yes. Um, yeah, in fact, I was able to confirm that with Kathy just the other day.
Good.
yeah, the other meetings outside worldwide starting on the 1st.
Yeah. And that's on
I'm not exactly sure.
Monday.
how that new platform that Edwin found is going to work.
I think we've tried out Butter. I'm not sure if that's the one we're staying with. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, that one. I took a look at it. I'm like, hey, I'm uncertain if this is going to work, but wait and see.
Yeah, I mean it's functional. I think for my take was just that it reminded me of like walkie-talkie, you know, communicating on a walkie-talkie where one person can talk at one time. It wasn't the ability to have kind of a crosstalk or simultaneous talking. So that's one thing I think,
Oh,
just
gotcha.
being patient about waiting for someone to finish and giving a few seconds and then, okay, start in again.
Okay. Well, just have to wait and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, at the end of the day, right? We're networking, and a lot of it's one-on-one. I think it lends itself more to one-on-one discussion. But it's just that we're so accustomed to the stereo. Maybe you have a better term for it, Earl. Stereo talk or just like simultaneous. That when
Yeah,
something isn't ideal, we're kind of like discount it. So
yeah, yeah. Because when it comes to a networking session like that, um, yeah, I don't know if basically there's going to be a pause in between each conversation. Uh, I don't know how easily it's going to flow and how people are going to be able to comprehend that. Okay, there's a pause in between when person gets done talking to where you can start. So uh, it's just going to be trial and error, I guess.
yeah, is that the term latency, or is that not the
Yeah.
right term?
Yep, that would be accurate.
Okay. So yeah, if it's a little bit too long, then yeah, it's one of those things. Okay, well, I guess that the people will not tolerate it and drop off. But I would hate for that to be the only reason, right? Because the quality of the people that are there and the discussions and the real intent is to network. But if the latency is
Yep.
the problem, then okay, get the connections, get the like as we did here, share the contact information, and then have those one-on-ones later on. So awesome. Yeah. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reconnecting and seeing. I guess this will be Happy Neighborhood Project 3.0 or something. So I know they did a 2.0 last year, and now I guess we'll move on to 3.0 version. Yeah.
Yep. So I'll be waiting to see how all that's going to work. So we'll. I know. Hopefully, we didn't lose a lot of people because of this intermission, I should say,
Intermission. Yeah.
between platforms.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say we lose them, but they just kind of drop off for a while, and they may come back when things iron out. And some people may want to wait. But yeah, it's that pivot. Every business has to pivot, and this is one of them. Similar. So, and again, similar thing is events like this one are popping up. Then people are filling in their time and being able to connect and network there. So I appreciate you inviting me, Emily, for this, and definitely had a good time to see folks that I knew and meet people I didn't know and get to know each other better from different aspects. So, yeah, fantastic.
All right, folks. That takes care of hour number one. We still got 2 hours to go yet with the Wolf Man because of that extra hour. Mm-hmm. So I've got. Let's see. What do I have coming up next for you? I've got Derek Lurch, Gabby Barrett, George Burge, Luke Bryan and Nate Smith coming to you next, right here on Crucial Sounds. Keep on tuning in, and I am also taking special requests, as you may have noticed. Come join me in the chat room, crucialsoundsradio.uk. Okay.
Oh, so we can put in some requests and not hear it, right, Earl? Or I guess we could listen in.
Yep.
We'd have listen in on the web. So nice. All right.
And yeah, I'll take a sandwich.
So, well, thanks, Emily. Earl, good chatting with you. I'm gonna sign off, and I appreciate it. And yeah, I look forward to connecting with others. And if anyone, my information is in the chat. If you want to connect with me, I think Emily has a way. Is there a way for us to post or let people know how to get a hold of us, Emily?
Yeah, I'll send it out after later today or next day or two here.
Okay.
So everybody has everybody's info.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good rest of weekend.
Have a good one.
So, yes, we're about at our end here. Going to thank Earl, Tommy, Debbie, Tim, and Rick for coming on today. And everybody else who has tuned in. And as a reminder, we are here every Saturday at 1 o'clock Central for the World of Ability / PDC Day Show. And we'll encourage everybody to check out all of our social media, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and so on. Like, share, comment. We also like to thank our new partners of Marcus Hart of Transforming Media, Zach Clayton of the Pack Channel, Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios, and Jay from Disability Channel for their support of the show and sharing it on their platforms. And this is always stay safe and stay happy.